uh, and still Gato. And I'm here with the top 5 budget decks of the April 2015 format. I've been actually waiting to make this video just to see the success of different decks on a couple of early regionals within the format, and really scout out what I can see as being successful against the meta decks. So far, I think there's a lot of opportunities that you can make in this deck, and I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff that's going on. So let's see what we have here. My number 5 spot is Sylvanas, and I mean, I enjoy playing Sylvanas. Sylvanas is a great deck. It's really fun, really consistent. There's a lot of stuff it has going for it, and you know, with Lone Fire at 3, Glow Bulb and Spore giving you access to crazy synchros, your rank 7 toolbox with your Sequoias, your Sage Koyas, and your rank 8 toolbox with your Hermit Trees are also insane. A lot of these cards got reprinted in Return of the Bling, especially with its Rose support, so a lot of this stuff is actually pretty cheap to get your hands on now. And I think overall it's pretty consistent, really enjoyable, fun to play. I mean, there's also, Array is a great card, but there are some complications, and the reason why it's only at number 5 is because there are a lot of things that can stop this deck down. The reason why it is here, though, is because Vanities is also at 1, so there isn't many things that can stop this deck from just having a hell of a time. I mean, there's Big Eye, Dracosac, Felgrand that you can all make in this, and also there's all the Galaxy Eyes dragons I think you can make with this, and that's crazy enough. So Sylvanas has taken the number 5 spot. For number 4, we have Evil Swarm. Evil Swarm. It's always a smart idea to play Evil Swarms. I mean, after every ban list, you can see a return of Evil Swarms early on in the format. And I mean, Evil Swarms can top. They have good matchups against the meta decks. Ophion stops the majority of the meta decks, and it's pretty consistent. You can make Ophion first turn and just stop your opponent. Some rogue decks just scoop up after Ophion's summon because, you know, they don't have a normal summonable monster that can pop it, and Ophion can just get protected by infestation. It's just amazing. So overall, Evil Swarm, it's a relatively cheap deck still. Always budget friendly, always consistent, and it's always a smart idea to invest in. So I might even come up with the Evil Swarm deck profile soon on this channel. So yeah, Evil Swarms. Coming in at number 3 is Heroes. And the reason why I pick Heroes is because it's the cheapest deck to make. I mean, if you buy 3 Hero Strike Structure decks, you get almost every hero that you could possibly need for the deck. Blazeman's coming out later on in April, and it's just a great deck. I mean, Dark Claw is being splashed in every meta deck, and it's just overall crazy. I mean, it's enjoyed by basically the entire community. Loves Heroes, and I mean, you know, free Stratos, but it's just so enjoyable. There's Dark Claw is so strong. There's also cards like Acid, Anki, and Dion that makes pushing for OTKs so much easier. And then you have all your Miracle Fusion targets such as Absolute Zero, and Absolute Zero is absolute craziness, pun intended, and it's just fun to play. I mean, you're not going to break $80 building this deck unless you're buying the rank 4s such as Castell and stuff, but if you're going for pure heroes and just a lot of nostalgic fun, then it's definitely the cheapest deck to make, and it's fun, has good OTK potential, and I don't see why you wouldn't want to play this. Coming in at number 2 is Infernoids. Infernoids has actually topped a couple of regionals, and I'll put one of the deck profiles that a lot of Yu-Gi tubers have been talking about, which was a regional win over in the UK. And I think Infernoids is a fun deck. It's really fast. You can get really big monsters out on the field quickly, and there's a lot of cool DD Crow effects that they all have. I mean, With the lower level ones like Harmadic and Antra, you can pop cards, return them to hand, or destroy them. And this is going to be a destruction heavy format. They're getting a lot of good future support that I've been messing around with on DevPro and on DN and seeing what's going on. And Charge of the Light Brigade's at 2, so now the Lightsworn engine is getting back to its full potential, and you can really play the deck a lot faster, and you can see OTKs coming out a lot quicker with this deck. So, yeah, Infernalites are just going to be a fun deck to see play. My only problem right now is that Harmadic is still, for whatever reason, a nearly $17 card. And I don't know why. It's not even the best card in the deck. If they had printed any of the big level, higher level ones out of common and into like super rare, secret rare, or ultra rare, I mean, those cards would be totally worth more than Harmadic. So it's sad to see Harmadic be so expensive, but it overall is a good card. Now for some honorable mentions that I wanted to mention is Six Samurai. I mean, she ends at 2, and Six Samurais I've actually been seeing a lot in locals, and there's a lot of lockdown they can do now. Necros almost instantly loses to 6 Sams because they have access to Nat Beast, Barkion, and Xian, which basically means negate city, and you can't get past that kind of board for the most part. For number 2 is Yosenju's. Although I'm piloting Yosenju's when I'm not playing Shadal's, I think, you know, with Vanities at 1 actually hurts the deck, because you should be playing a stun version of the deck. I mean, once we get more support, I think Yosenju's will definitely be higher up on this list, maybe number 2 or number 3, for sure. But until then, Yosenju's has to wait here until it gets a way to keep itself alive more effectively when it doesn't have monsters on the board. For number 3 is Chaos Lightsworns. Charges at 2. That's basically the only reason why I put it on here. I mean, even though you lost the Dragon Rulers, and you can still run Eclipse Wyverns and Wyver Busters, and you can go for rank 4s. There's still a lot of synchros you can make in the deck. There's a lot of stuff you can do with the extra deck. I'm completely biased, and my nostalgia goggles just had to put it on this honorable mentions list. And then I have Dark Matter Heretics for the 4th place. I mean, since the Dark Dragon Rulers got banned, this deck completely had to change its strategy entirely. And I mean, you can still pitch Eclipse Wyvern and Dragard, you know, and still do the normal play, but you don't have these Dragon Rulers to banish these things anymore, and that's a problem. Banishing 3 cards from your opponent's deck is still a crazy ability, and being able to attack twice is still insane. I think overall it's still a good deck. It's not at. I think the hype is kind of wearing off. But you guys can tell me wrong and tell me what you think about that deck. So coming in number 1 is Ritual Beasts. I mean, Ritual Beasts have been successful in a lot of regionals. I'll actually post the regional deck profile from one of a different Yugi tuber in the comment section below. I think it's really consistent, has a future support with the new boss monster coming out. And I mean, I have a replay where that new boss monster just goes ham after a Quasar deck tries to take the Max C challenge. There's a lot of opportunities for stuns. I mean, you can macro and D-Fisher don't even hurt you in this deck, and there's so much stuff you can do. And I honestly think that this deck is relatively really cheap. Other than the E-Tellies, I think you can build this deck for maybe $100 at most. The deck's really enjoyable, really consistent, really fun, and I just think it's probably going to be the best one going into the format. And competitive wise, you're probably gonna see a lot of these decks actually participating in regionals, YCSs, and in the ARG. So tell me what you guys think about my top 5 list. Tell me what your top 5s are in the comment section below. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate any support I can get. And thanks, guys. This is Delgado signing out. Peace.